Good morning, this is Cecil and Blues. Thank you for stopping by for this short XCOM 2 video. We're less than 2 weeks away from release, and there were a couple of important pieces of news that came out of Firaxis recently that I wanted to talk about. First of all, the preview build you may have been seeing throughout January has been closed off, and there is a review build in many of those people's hands, but the embargo on that isn't going to be up until just prior to release. During the preview period, a strategy emerged that was quite effective. By setting up an Overwatch trap but leaving a unit out of cover just outside of where the aliens can see them in their expected patrol path, you would trigger your Overwatches on the aliens' turn, essentially giving your soldiers a free turn to clean up any survivors. This was an optimal play, and one I'll be honest, I probably never would have tried on my own. I'm kind of a sucker for doing exactly what the designer intended with the game mechanics, and I might not have seen this at all. Anyway, since this was an optimal play, Firaxis has adjusted the AI for these situations in kind of an interesting way. If a group of aliens discover a flanked XCOM soldier, instead of performing the normal reaction of running for cover, they will stand still and shoot your exposed unit in the face. You may still get reaction shots from skills like covering fire, but normal Overwatches will not trigger. This may seem like all bad news, but since the aliens didn't move into cover or go on Overwatch, your team is in a great position to flank and destroy them. But it might have cost you a sacrificial lamb in the process. It's not always a bad plan, but it's not always the best plan anymore. What I think makes this change great is that it affects normal gameplay as well. Previously, if you maybe positioned your soldiers badly during a concealment turn, you'd get discovered at a time when you didn't have a trap set. The alien reaction is almost identical to how pods pop when you are out of concealment, or, for those unfamiliar, how enemies reacted in XCOM Enemy Unknown. By adding this new behavior, concealment always adds a bit of spice to your first encounter. I'm a fan of the solution, and I congratulate the XCOM 2 team on being able to react to the situation so quickly and get a fix in prior to launch. The other piece of news comes from the creators of The Long War, a well-respected mod to XCOM Enemy Within. They have founded a studio named Long War Studios, and it was assumed that they would not be producing mods for XCOM 2 since they probably had legitimate business to undertake as a developer. Well, surprise! Firaxis has partnered with them to create, quote, multiple mods for XCOM 2. These mods are planned to be available day one of release. The very notion of this is kind of breaking my brain a little. I mean, are they official mods? Unofficial mods? Officially unofficial? Like, will the Secretary disavow any knowledge of their actions? Will this tape self-destruct? It's unknowable at this time. But we will know more next week. Further details on this partnership will be revealed during their PAX South panel on January 30th at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. I'll let you do the needed conversions to get that into your own time zone. The panel should be available live on Twitch on the main PAX channel. They have, in the past, put these panels up on their XCOM 2 YouTube channel, but it may take a few days for that to happen, and since the panel is on the 30th, it may not happen until after release. So, if you're interested, make sure to tune in, or you can stop back here next week for a summary. Until then, I've got more Darkest Dungeon to play. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will catch you next week.